Are. Welcome, everybody. This is the first Crazy Talk podcast in a long time. Crazy Talk podcast number 7. Now, I don't even remember some of the things that were last talked about in the last one. Maybe brushed up on Unite. I don't know. When was the last Crazy Talk podcast? Maybe 5, 6, 7 months ago? I can't fully remember. But it's crazy. Long time, though. Long time. So I was just taking a swig of orange soda. But everyone, all wrestling fans, when it comes up to IRL or even CAW, it is basically CAW Mania month. I'm excited. You got WrestleMania itself. You got things like Ultimate Week come by multiple shows during the week of Mania time. You also got COH's Wrestle Kids come by. And CWA's Olympus as well. I'm very excited. Personally, not just because I'm in some of those shows, but shows? I can speak. I'm so sorry. Sorry. It's not that I'm in those. I don't even think I'm confirmed for Olympus or WrestleCade itself. I know I'm in Ultimate Week, though, for the King of the Death match, Fatal 4-Way. Myself, Jack Hunter, Michael Bloom, and Psycho G. I believe it's co-main event. I can't remember what show, though. So that's going to be very exciting. But just all in all, this is a bunch of shows for Ultimate Week. All in one. Amazing matches. Awesome people are going to be in it. And then obviously you got the show of shows for arguably the two biggest events out there. And some people would argue, maybe just for the Xbox side. The point is, two really massive events. The show of shows coming up. WrestleCade and Olympus. It's going to be exciting. But, I mean, there's not one that I'm specifically looking forward to. I'm looking forward to all of them a lot. But some of the things specifically, I mean, you have Daniel Lyons versus Liam Mercer at WrestleCade. You got Ryan Swift versus Tone White as well for the COH World Championship. That is going to be awesome. For Olympus, I can't really. No, is there even anything announced yet for Olympus? I'm not fully sure, but nonetheless, I mean, Olympus has always been great. I was part of Olympus last year in the co-main event, defending the CWA World Heavyweight Championship. Not fully confirmed if I'm gonna be in this year or not. I still don't know, but but. Excuse me if I sound a bit stuffy. I'm just getting over a cold as well. But other than that, pretty much CAW Mania month. I mean, can I say it's just started or it's been around for a bit? I don't know. It's on the build up. Obviously, a lot of people are building up to their show. CWA building up for Olympus, COH, and Honorbound building up for WrestleCade. And I know Ultimate Week, they've been promoting a lot. They've been promoting a lot for their shows coming up. But, hold up. Let's see if we, let me do something with the tweet that I did. Let me see if I can get anyone to send questions. Let's see. I'm going to tweet out. Actually, I don't fully know if I will do that. But, also, there's another EFED versus Sim argument that happened just recently. I mean, it's dead now. It's past the monthly quota of the EFED versus Sim argument, which, by the way, in my opinion, is one of the most pointless arguments. You have extremists on both sides, and you have a lot of people that bash on each other. And by the way, I do not condone, and I do not acknowledge e-fetters or simmers, as I'm a part of both sides of the community, that intentionally want to stir up the pot and create the argument again just so they know that chaos will like reign over the timeline with people insulting each other, coming at each other's throats. It's just completely unnecessary, in my opinion. I think both shows, or not both shows, I think both areas of KAW work hard in their respective areas. People are talking about things like demand, and some people are throwing things out there that like are not that don't really contribute to an argument. It's just saying bullshit. Like for example, like EFED attires like you can make it in like 5 minutes. That makes no sense. Hello, Wise. For those that are in chat, by the way, feel free to ask any questions. But yeah, people saying attire like it makes no sense, in my opinion. And there's some people out there saying like EFED people do not have gimmicks and they're just bland. I mean, I can name a lot of people like Liam Mercer, Jado Storm, Tone White, Daniel Lyons, Enigma Soul, Ryan Swift, a big example, Ryan Swift, as EFED people with gimmicks that are not bland. I mean, there's some simmers out there that said, by the way, some of the things that I say do not pertain to all of EFEDers. I mean, they should say that at the beginning, but my point is, some of the other things that I saw, though, was how about high demand. People saying simmering having more demand than EFED. I mean, for me being in both communities for a decent amount of time, to be honest with you, EFED has had more demand, in my opinion. Because obviously you have a lot of sim shows that take a good handful of months, apart just for one show to come out. And obviously it's understandable why. The amount of work that gets put into it, the editing and all that. Townsend, how you doing? But the amount of work getting put into it, it's understandable and why there's so much of a time gap. But the thing is, me hanging out with a bunch of simmers, there's not that much of demand of them consistently talking about, we want this, of simming and this and that. A lot of them are spending most of their months just, either creating stuff for fun or they're just chilling and relaxing because, they finally have that reprieve. So there's not really them, a lot of people just demanding stuff in sim from shows, on a consistent basis. When, in my opinion, the reason why I say EFED has more demand for the fact that EFED is a weekly process and in some cases multiple times a week. So obviously, there would be more demand there. But obviously, I say this a lot, both of them are hard. Both areas of KAW are very hardworking. Sim being in the long term, EFED in the short term. That's how I look at it. Wise saying what caused the change in the theme song, changing Drown from 3 Days Grace. So pretty much I think the only place that you're gonna hear him, or no, not the only, but two places, immortalized by Disturbed. Drown I liked, but what caused the change was in COH, the owner Daniel Lyons came to me and he actually said that he did not like Drown at all. He said like, every time I listen to it, like I feel like I'm gonna get sad. Okay, hold on. Jesus, my apologies. Alright, my sister walked in asking me something. My apologies. But pretty much he was like, I don't like Drown, I think it needs to be different. So I only had the intention of changing Drown for COH, and then it took a good amount of hours of searching through a lot of songs, and I found Immortalized by Disturbed, and I loved it. I loved the way it flowed, the guitar, the beat, everything, and some of the lyrics that does sound like it portrays the Chris J character. So, and I mean, some people are like, how dare you change Drown? This, like, it felt like a mob, just coming at me with pitchforks and torches about changing Drown. But I mean, I like the song. It's grown on to some people. When it comes up to NPON, I mean, I wanted to do Immortalized because, I just want to use it a bit more instead of just hearing one. But, yeah, that's pretty much why. So it's not that I do not like Drown. I love Drown. But it just originates from the CHO Daniel Lyons saying I should have a theme change, so I found Immortalized by Disturbed. But yeah, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm gonna see if I can get people to ask questions on Twitter as well. Ooh, hold on. I'm just doing a tweet for people doing questions. Just doing this quick tweet, replying to this tweet with questions, whether it's IC or OC questions. I'll be reading them live. Uh, yeah. So, what are some inspirations for Crazy J's personality as opposed to the look? So, some of the personality, I looked at the sincerity and the unpredictability from Randy Orton, maybe like an early 2010s Randy Orton. And if you want to go back to like years and years ago, Crazy J, pretty much the inspiration that started it all is The Rock. The way that The Rock spoke, the way that he connected with people. And I wanted to try to do that. And at some point I did. I don't know how I did it, but I don't know. Apparently I just had this own way of promoting that people liked it. And apparently I just had this huge face portraying as a face, I should say, that people gravitated to. And I don't know how, because when I did it in Honor Bound about 3-4 years ago, it was pretty much I had nothing, obviously, starting from nothing. I was just backyard wrestler coming up to professional wrestling. That's pretty much the backstory and what I had to work with. And obviously, how I was booked when I started in Honor Bound, by the way. This is about 2016, like just turned 2017 Honor Bound. I was thrown into the wolves, and I ran away with it. My debut, Honor Bound 21, main event, against then Honor Bound World Champion Killian Red. And then the following week after that, I fought one half the World Tag Champions, Maverick Flynn. And then the third week, the other half of the World Tag Champions, Chris Proudfoot. They were a faction called Bagel Club. I know it's a weird name. But like they were top dogs and on about. They were running the show. The whole faction, all the titles, their big, win streaks. It was like no one was touching them. And then here's some random guy, that's from backyard wrestling to pro wrestling, and somehow beat them all three. Like, I don't know. And obviously, with that chain of effects happening, it gave a lot of momentum, especially for face promos. A lot of people just loved it. But yeah. Currently, I also look at Jon Moxley, or maybe Stone Cold as well, for the personality. The anti-hero, kind of personality from Stone Cold, or the carelessness from Jon Moxley, in a way. The look, to be honest with you, I can't even give a full answer, when it comes up to look. Look was just, the look, pretty much I had this style. It was in SVR 08 when I made the first Crazy J call. I did like these camoed shorts with like, it looked like a belt with like bullet casings or something like that. And I did that same look for every single game after that. There's even like some videos, of my like Crazy J entrance showcases from W12, 13, 14. And I'm like wearing the same, pants in all of them. It's pretty funny. But, yeah. I know you didn't ask for a look, but, I just want to throw it in there because why not? But, yeah, once again, ask anything as you wish. Oh, also, so I will bring this up. So, the FAM situation, by the way, for those that don't know, FAM being brought back. Wise asking what is more interesting to play when it comes to sides, face or heel. That is a good one. So, majority of my career, it seems like I've been practically a tweener of both. I was very flexible. But there was times where I did full face runs. Like I told the story about a few years ago, my first tenure in Honor Bound. It was really fun. Just showing appreciation and that emotion towards the crowd, and they bring it and they give it right back. It feels really good. But lately I've been doing full heel runs. Just saying everything the crowd doesn't want to hear, doing everything the crowd doesn't want to see or have me do. Just intentionally pissing them off, knowing that I'm guaranteed a reaction back, regardless if some people like it or not. I feel like it's more interesting to play heel, because as a heel, you're just open to say and do a lot more things. I feel like face is kind of restricted, although obviously it's fun to do. But I just feel like in comparison, you feel more restricted as a face in comparison as a heel. And through personal experience of doing this full heel runs for the past few months, I mean, I've been enjoying doing a full heel more than a face. Reality hello. Got any advice for newcomers like myself? So, oop, almost dropped my controller. So, I'm going to say pretty much do and don't do what I did a few years ago. So pretty much when I was starting out, when I want to get my name out there, I went to a lot of companies. Be Active. Yeah, Be Active is one. So I went to a lot of companies, but the problem was I went to too many. I was when I was trying to get my name out there, at one point I was at maybe at least 11 plus companies, and at some point, at the same time, it's as you're trying to get your name out there, you're also devaluing your name in a way. I get it. People are hungry. You want to be the next big thing, but if you're going to travel the world, get your name out there, don't do it to too many companies. Do maybe a just right amount. Never be afraid to ask for help. That too. So don't be afraid to ask for help. For any advice when it comes up to portraying or promoting, storytelling, things like that. But yeah, pretty much, if you want to get your name out there, try your best to give 100 or more %. Join maybe a few handful of companies just so you get your name out there a little bit. So there's a higher chance of different people finding you. Just don't do too much. That was my fault. That's what I did wrong many years ago. So, but yeah. But also for newcomers, I mean, also stand out. Try to be creative with maybe your attires that some people, like. Be like, oh, that's really cool attires. Because just having, one time people complimenting your attires will most likely gain their interest in seeing more content from you. So that also helps. But yeah. Also, when it comes up to promo ability, if you have why do you bully Townsend all the time? I do not. And also figure out your own personal way of speaking, of doing promos. If you have that certain way of speaking that people go, ooh, they want to listen to everything, like every single word that you say, pretty much. Like, for example, Liam Mercer has his own promo style, and for me personally, the things that he says and how he says it makes me want to listen to every word, because he drops a lot of like verbal bombs. He will drop a sentence or drop like a factual thing, drop a whole paragraph on you, and you'll just sit there and be like, damn. I'm in 3 companies and I just had a ladder title match for one of them. Yeah, and see, in gimmick matches like that, winning is the bonus and it helps, but also, if your moveset complements. And when I mean compliments, I mean it could like put on a performance, despite if you lose. And I'm not saying like go unrealistic. Go realistic with your call as well. But if it's also putting on a performance where people are like, oh, I like this guy's style, that also helps you get out there too. Find someone that is accustomed to you and use that to your advantage, but don't try it, overuse it. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I was implying as well. But as I was saying, oh yes, the new FAM and the Bash situation with his own rendition of a FAM story. I don't know if you know or not, but Bash is doing a like one final story with FAM. That is pretty much his story looks like it's canon. It goes off the canon. It goes off from the last thing that FAM did, and it's like a continuation of it. The new FAM it's ran by different management, and it's weird because this is my take on it. It's ran by the people that left Unite and created their own show in a way to compete with Unite. So now they're running the new FAM. All right, sorry. I mean, Impact, I was the only putting in work. Yeah, there you go. But pretty much so, as I said, yeah, the people that left Unite to make their own show in a way to compete with Unite are now the ones that run FAM. Like, not all of them, but some of the positions taken. And, I mean, I don't know how I really feel about that. I mean, I was in the new FAM Discord, right? And I was asked to by Bunny, which, I mean, I'm not close with her, but I became friends with her through Unite, and she asked me to be there, so I was like, why not? I'll see how it goes. I was even going to put myself in FAM as well. I was in there seeing, like, how they're going to run the show, see, like, what are they going to do? I eventually left their Discord. I never said I was going to put Jay in it to begin with, so there's that. But on that, the fact that, FAM instantly cutting off Bash, pretty much saying, like, oh, what Bash is doing is not canon. I mean, and then Bash and Rom did their own explanation videos. Now, I can't really fully remember everything or some of the things that were said, but I remember it blew my mind. Listening to both of them, like, wow, goddamn. It had me kind of blown away. The tension and, years or whatever of problems between this group that a lot of people looked up to so many years ago. People looking at FAM as the be-all, end-all, and now people are unsure of FAM's stability under this new management or creative way of doing it. Hello, Gwen. Welcome. Crazy Talk Podcast, number 7. But I want to ask some of you in chat, how do y'all feel about this new FAM and this continuation final chapter of FAM that Cameron Bash is doing? Oh, I keep hitting this on my elbow, I swear. The one Bash is doing is dumb. How so? Don't know him. Fair enough. How so, Gwen? How's the... Because... I mean, you can't really say it's dumb. What Bash is doing, and Bash, in all fairness, Bash announced that before FAM announced the return. In all fairness, and I'll say this again for those that are coming in now. What Bash is doing is a final chapter continuation off of the last thing that FAM did. So pretty much on paper, what Bash is doing sounds completely canon with the FAM story, picking up where it left off and doing a continuation final chapter. But with the new FAM saying that it's not canon when it really is, in my opinion, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm different. I don't. Fair enough. Bash also was a dickhead on Twitter. I mean, well, here's the thing. I get that Bash as a human being isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. But just because if someone was being a dickhead, quote unquote, does that really mean what they're... the continuation of something they were very passionate about and they put a lot of work in for many years, does that completely disregard their credibility or completely disregard if it's canon or not? That's how I feel anyways. I'm not really taking any side. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm trying to look at both sides. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt for both sides as best as I can. I'm not picking any favorites because I'm not really. I mean, I'm cool with Bash. I'm not friends with Bash, and I'm cool with Rom and BH. but like I'm not really friends with them either. I wasn't really that I wasn't really the popular guy in Unite. And I'm not really the popular guy in FAM, nor that I really want to be. I understand what you mean, yeah, but yeah. So I'll go back to some of the things I talked about earlier, since more people came in. Call Mania Month has some have started to build, or some have been building. You got things like Ultimate Week, a community event that's going around, many shows during the week, and then you got COH's WrestleCade, their shows coming up. You got CWA's show of shows, Olympus, coming up. I'm excited for all three. I'm in Ultimate Week, King of the Death Match, Fatal 4-Way. Myself, Jack Hunter, Michael Boom, and Psycho G. But WrestleCade, I mean, Olympus, I mean, I don't even know what is there confirmed. I think, was it Derek Baker has the decision that he has to make for the world champion still, or I don't remember if he made the decision already, but I think he still has to pick one of the world champions for the main event of Olympus 5. And then WrestleCade coming up, you got Liam Mercer versus Daniel Lyons, Ryan Swift, Tone White for the COH world title. It's going to be awesome. Popularity is a scam. It's not a scam. It's just when popularity is pretty much a lot of eyes are on you, therefore people have high standard, a high expectation towards whoever that popularity is upon. And I think it's kind of overrated for the fact that a lot of people like you, or a lot of people pay attention to you, therefore you have this high standard or expectation that that you didn't want in the first place, or that you didn't set yourself, other people are setting it for you. I think is kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. Pretty much. All right, let's see. Let's talk about some of the things that are going within real life wrestling. So, and that's why I'm not popular. So in real life wrestling cases, AEW versus I don't want to say versus, but like AEW and NXT. Now I've been watching both products personally. I love both, but there's been like some cases where it's like, when they're both on, I watch them a certain way. I'm not gonna say how. But I'll have them it's like a simulcast. I'll have them side by side, on my computer screen. And I'll be watching. It's like I'm watching one and glancing at the other. Recently, and it's been happening a lot more often. It's like I'm watching AEW, but I'm glancing at NXT. And I want to say it was the week that NXT had Charlotte come back. And it has nothing to do with viewership ratings, although I think that week NXT was 700K something. And AEW was, I think, 900K something, like 900K plus. And NXT 700K plus. I can't remember the full numbers. Brian Alvarez does the numbers, though. But that week, when Charlotte came back for the first time, it was like I was glancing over that edition of NXT, but that episode of AEW, it felt like a pay-per-view. It was really good. I loved the matches. Everything about that week's episode, it was awesome. AEW, when it first started, was all high spots of comedy. Now it's getting way better. I mean, it wasn't really that much comedy. I mean, they still have kept how they do things from the beginning, but they're just getting slightly better at consistency and the production of things. Because, believe it or not, AEW it's still fairly new, and some people are looking at this. Some people are like, "Oh, WWE, a company that's been around for decades and decades." They have. Some people are like, "Oh, they have no excuse," or something like that. They have a way more experience. AEW is like a good handful of months long, and for a company that's just starting out at such a high expectation, they've been doing really well, in my opinion. A lot of people think the same. NXT's better. Don't make me get Tone in here. I mean, Tone is a WWE fanatic. I mean, it's respectable. Be a fan of what you want. I'm a fan of both. I'm very optimistic of things. You know, like I'm not that much of a main roster fan anymore. I got tuned out many years ago, and I'm a fan of NXT and NXT UK. I'm a fan of AEW, big fan of AEW as a recent. Like I just got Varsity Jack. I'm a big fan of New Japan. I was a big fan of Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor, it seems like Ring of Honor has fallen off a bit recently, and I want them to like step it up a little bit. I want them to revive because Ring of Honor, it's a really good show. Seeing a bunch of their old stuff, it's a really good show, and I hope things, incline from here on out, and I hope things get better for them. I like NXT better too. Here's the thing, with NXT being around for few more years, I get that some people get complacent, and I'm not saying people in chat are complacent. I'm saying that some people, probably are happy with what they watch as of now, and don't really care for giving new things a try, and they don't have to. I'm not saying that they have to, but I know that's some of the reasons why people are like that when it comes up to NXT and or wrestling in general. Me preferably, I'm not like that. I'm trying to watch more wrestling, to be honest with you. I'm trying to pan out because there's a lot of things out there like GCW, or there's a lot more. There's a lot of promotions out there. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying my best to watch as much as possible. I want to take in a lot of, a lot of that wrestling intake. A lot of the info, the entertainment. I want as much as possible. Personally, I prefer NXT UK. I caught up in NXT UK actually, and I'm really liking what NXT UK has been doing as of late. I was way behind NXT UK as well. I was pretty much the NXT UK after, was it Brooklyn 2, I believe, that Walter became the NXT UK champion. So I had to go from that NXT UK post that pay-per-view all the way until pretty much the last episode. Why should we watch CAC? I used to watch ICW. ICW is one too. Why should you watch CAC? Well, and I'm not saying it's because I'm a part of CAC. I do like what CAC is doing. I like how CAC goes towards more of the storytelling route. With a company that's being very, very new, the management and the people that are running it are very passionate about that product and what they want to do with it. I respect it, and I hope it continues to go forward. And I hope it does get more exposure, because I feel like it does, personally. What's CAC? CAC is Create a Call. I know that the name's kind of weird, I meant. It's ran by Townsend, Adam Epps, just to name those two. It is a eFed company that heavily bases on storytelling. So it's like, Sim is about storytelling, but like this is an eFed company that's about storytelling. So it's like best of both worlds. Like you get the storytelling and the eFed aspect of it. It's great. I'm not checking that out. Yeah, it's on YouTube. By the way, you can hit up How to Book if you want to know further details about CAC. He's one of the people that run it. But yeah, shout out to CAC. But yeah. I did that tweet about people replying to it to ask me questions, and I have got nothing. Shameless plug, yeah. Once again, if any of you in chat have any questions, in-character questions, out-of-character questions, feel free, to ask. Don't be shy. This is if that's the link to it. Which their link, all right, because I was hoping making sure, but thank you, Wise. Just looking through some stuff. Oh, Jake got back to me. Okay, I gotta make sure to look at that later. I watch. He says, yes, I watch. I know this. But let me ask, Jay, your opinion on Mania. So, to be honest with you, this is the first Mania that I'm not really excited about, nor even looking forward to. Because in some people would think that's ludicrous. The fact that anyone not even interested in Mania you know, the biggest thing in wrestling history. Like some people are like, oh, you gotta be at least interested or maybe a glimpse at Mania. This is the only time that I have not really looked forward to it. You know, obviously the chance of being canceled because unfortunately the coronavirus going around. Which, by the way, I've seen that like Canada isolated the virus already, and you know, vaccines or antiviruses, things like that. But shout out to Canada. You take hockey away from Canada, they said hold my beer. Not even 12 hours later, they said fuck that shit. We're getting to work, and then, boom, they went off. So shout out to Canada for already isolating the virus, which could also do a lot of advancements in the medical field as it is by just doing that. So props to them, shout out to them. But if not canceled, I mean, you know, it could be delayed, or I mean, some people joked around, oh, what if they did Mania in the Performance Center, you know, no crowd, like they did with SmackDown, and most likely they're going to do with Raw as well. And how it might move back to, yeah, we're good, I think. Oh, yeah, we're good. But, yeah, I mean, I want to be interested in Mania, but I don't really know, to be honest with you. But let me ask all of you this: are some of you looking forward to Mania, or some of you actually looking forward to some of the events happening in CAW that are coming up? Like as I previously mentioned, Ultimate Week, Olympus, and WrestleCade, or anything that I have not listed. You know, what are all of you looking forward to? As I call Mania month, pretty much. Goldberg is best wrestler. I mean, I like Goldberg. I growing up, I loved Goldberg. I even had a bottle opener with Goldberg on it. It was cool. Fuck COVID-19, eh? I'm looking forward to Mania weekend. Women's matches are great too. SmackDown tag sounds great. See, I don't even know what's going on with any of those, to be honest with you, other than Charlotte and Rhea. Mania, and maybe Bianca added in, maybe last second triple threat question mark. I don't know. Yes, us Canadians are great. Us Canadians are great, eh? Yeah. Hey, I'm just not that far south from the border, or I'm like 2 states down. Looking forward to Drew versus Brock. Oh yes, Drew versus Brock. Maybe that's the only one that I'm interested in, to be honest with you. I mean, I want to get interested in Goldberg and Roman because I like Goldberg, but I don't know. Cena, Fiend, I mean, not really looking forward to it. Not really interested in it. But the only one that I'm interested in is Drew and Brock, because Drew's got to do it. Like, this has got to be Drew's time. Anyone else agree? This has got to be Drew's moment. There's no way it's not. Also, the chance, all right? The chance, and Drew has said this, the chance that we could hear Drew's old theme, Broken Dreams, at Mania. He said, Broken Dreams doesn't really fully fit how his character is now, but it still does kind of make sense. He said, if I were to pick a time to do it, Mania would be the perfect time. So we possibly could hear Broken Dreams. I would mark the fuck out if I did. If it happens, I will mark the fuck out, and it better be Broken Dreams. That's some, like, you know, mash together his current theme, Broken Dreams. That's some bullshit remix. I want Broken Dreams. All right, you know what I mean? No remix, no mash together, nothing. No, like, variation. I want Broken Dreams, please. Miz and Morrison versus Usos, and Miz and Morrison versus Usos versus New Day. I didn't even know that was going to happen, to be honest with you. The TakeOver looks amazing. To be honest, I don't even know what's happening at TakeOver. I mean, I can only assume Gargano Ciampa's happening again. I don't even know what's going on with the NXT title. Was it like Dream and Cole? I have no idea what's going on for TakeOver Tampa. Imagine the scenes if Drew comes out to Yeah, dude. Yep. Drew versus Brock should be 6 seconds. Drew counts before the bell, down from 3, claimers Brock, and pins him. Well, obviously, that's something we would like to see, but it's not, trust me. Ciampa versus Gargano. Dream versus Cole. All right. Walter versus Balor. Okay. Lee versus Dijakovic versus Martinez. Okay, that is a pretty stacked takeover. Gargano Ciampa, that's always a classic. Dream Cole, that's going to be amazing. Walter Balor. I mean, Walter's a great performer. Balor's amazing. So I just hope that mesh together. I mean, Walter's most likely winning because it's Walter and Imperium. How over that is in NXT UK. So I think Walter's going to be going over there. I'll put predictions on who I think is going over. So I feel like Gargano is going over Ciampa. And then I feel like, I mean, I love Adam Cole as NXT champion, but I feel like they're finally going to give it to Dream. Walter's going to go over Balor. And it's either Lee's retaining because he's extremely over. Maybe not Dijakovic because they would have had him over at the last takeover. And then just the out of nowhere Martinez, Punishment Martinez. Maybe. I don't know. So it's like it's either Lee or Martinez that I is going over. I can't fully decide. Broserweights versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Undisputed Era. Now that's going to be amazing. You know, I've grown on to Grizzled Young Veterans. I like their promo style. I like their in-ring style. You know, because when you binge NXT UK trying to catch up, you know, you're going to see a lot of Grizzled Young Veterans. You know, when you binge almost a year of NXT UK. But, yeah, and Yui always puts on classic tag matches. They're just, anytime it's Red Dragon, oh, I love it. Just give me more. And Broserweights, individually, they were amazing performers and so over. And then you put them together, and it's just the perfect combination. Imagine Gallantry plays, and then it fades to silence, and suddenly we hear Broken Dreams. That would be pretty cool. Women's ladder match for number one contenders. I mean, the tag match in Cardiff was amazing. It really was. So they can go, you know? Yeah. Gwen's predictions. Ciampa, Dream, Walter, Lee. Grizzly Young Veterans because Dunn turns heel. Dunn turning heel. Ooh. Dunn turning heel on Matt Riddle, which could set up a Matt Riddle versus a Broserweights like collide feud. That would be pretty cool. But Broserweights are tag champion. I mean, it could still happen, maybe. Can't wait for it to happen in a empty performance center, though. Yeah. He looks pissed constantly. Well, that's Pete Dunne. That's how he always is. He's very, very serious. Riddle is better heel in my opinion. I haven't really seen heel work from Riddle. You know, I'm down to take in that. You know, look at maybe some of his heel work. What's up, young Jaylee? Welcome. Imagine him as a cocky heel. He already does it on Twitter. Yeah, now just do that, you know, on the shows. That'd be great. The book, Townsend, you're getting recognized. Look at that. He looks completely annoyed every time he's with Riddle. No, that's how he always look. He's very serious, but Riddle just brings, just brings some relief, not relief, brings some of the humor, to Pete. You know, like Matt Riddle is to Ying to Pete's Yang in a way. But anything car related that any of y'all looking forward to? Book. Look at that. Book. Huh? Book. You're being summoned. Look at that. WrestleCade. A lot of people look for WrestleCade during MVU. Sorry, oof. And not only that, not only WrestleCade, but you also got to look at the Honor Bound and COH after WrestleCade. Because those are always amazing. Same thing when it comes up to CWA's product. You got the Rage Pro, the PGW, and the Emerge after Olympus. That's going to be amazing. He won't be on WrestleCade. I mean, there's a chance, but it's looking dicey. So, I mean, I don't think anyone thinks or gets excited more for the COH Honor Bound after WrestleCade than WrestleCade itself, because WrestleCade always does amazing in viewership wise. It's always like at least 100 plus viewers, and I think WrestleCade, that pay per view, holding their highest viewership record, if I'm correct. I could be wrong about that. I forget about these things. I wish I could join COH, but I'm on PS4. I mean, if you get with someone and they try to remake your call, because it's been done with other people before, if you get to remake it, you're active, you promo, whether it's voice or through Twitter and from text, then you'll be fine. You'll be in the Uprising division, which means you'll be on Honorbound and COH. There's also a voice verification thing. Oh, yeah, that too. There is a voice verification thing. I could do that. Yeah, just mind you, because some people in the community trying to slip under the cracks, they do a voice verification to, make sure you're not, one of those blacklisted people, that, you're someone that, A-okay, to participate and be a part of the company. And some people will look at that as like, oh, well, why the fuck are they doing that? It's something that they have and want to do. Obviously, it's for obvious reasons, and it's for good reasons. I don't shame on it. I don't look down upon it. I think it's a good method, voice verification. Because obviously, if you're doing some other type of verification where it's not voice, it's so easy to slip through the system. So voice verification, and obviously, if you think, oh, people can just do voice changer, it's obvious when people do voice changer. Voice changer is really easy to catch on to. So there's blacklisted people. There's a lot of blacklisted people, and not just COH, but in the community in general. Who I don't know. But yeah, like there's a lot of blacklisted people, for reasons being, like things that they have said or done, or just, just pretend. I don't know, like just very scummy things. The gist of it is blacklisted people being, in a position they are for things that they have done, tried to do, or things that they have said, and that's what I'm going to speak about. I'm spooked. Ain't been cut book in ages. Fear not. But I guess I will have this as a short one, not too much to talk about. I try to come up with the topics, very shortly before I start this, but I want to thank those that came by. Decent, length of a Crazy Talk podcast, my first one in like half a year, maybe more, so I want to thank those that came by. It means a lot. I don't know when the next time I'll do a Crazy Talk podcast, but I will make sure that I'm more prepared, and maybe I'll have some guests for the next one. So with that being said, thank you for those that came by. Stay in here. We'll raid someone, to show support. Show support to people, We're very supportive. Let's see. How about we should go... Oh, I got you. We're going to go raid iZentrix. So, please stand here for the raid. We're going to go support James, since he just came back from his New York trip, by the way. Yeah, so please stand here. Hold on. Just give it a few seconds. And here we go. Once again, thank you for those who come by, and I will see all of you next time. See ya.